Alright gang, I spared you the agony of putting that starter generator back in. The way it was installed the last time wasn't correct, so I had to pretty much just, had to take this side cover off and do a bunch of fishing and snaking and finagling and just wiggling and jiggling and all that fun happy stuff. Let me get my knee pad. So we got the starter generator in, got the battery hooked up, and we're going to see together if we now have an engine that's going to turn over. Let's come over to the key. We're ready. Please turn over. Please, please, please. Ready? Go. Yes, okay. Alright. We are turning over. That's a really good sign. Let's take a look here, see if we can see. Let me see if I can get a shadow. There's a little bit of a shadow there. See if the spark shows up. Are you ready? Get down here a little bit better. Here we go. Spark. Spark. Alright. The spark is there, take my word for it, but it's kind of weak. So what we're going to do is just put a hotter plug in there, see if we can get a better spark in that regard. They're real proud of it being a solid state ignition, so as far as whether or not the coil's good, well, it wouldn't be throwing a spark if it wasn't. And as far as what I'm doing right now is looking to see if I've got spark plug hanging here that's going to work. I don't think I do, but it's always worth taking a look. And the last one is nope. Okay, so we'll go over to the drawer of shame. How about that? All right, let me do that. Let me get a different plug. I'll throw it in and see if we can't improve the spark that we've got on this. So hang on. Alright, here we go. Let's see. Now you guys can see plenty good spark. So I'm going to button this together. I'm going to dribble a little bit of fuel down into the old carburetor. See if we can get this thing to pop. Something else I did was throw a fuel line on. The fuel petcock shutoff works just fine. I tested it out. So just go ahead and find a place to clamp you guys and just watch me as I work, I guess, huh? Be so nice if this thing just popped right off, you know it? And come to think of it, since the shop was shut up for the winter time, I do not have any gasoline in my little squirter bottle. So I'm gonna make you hang on for just a second while I take care of that. I just happened to remember we didn't even do a compression test on this thing to see if the valves are seating. So why don't we get that done, then we'll see if she's gonna fire for us. Are you ready? Let's see what kind of compression we have. Anybody want to venture a guess before I do this? I'm gonna guess around 120. That's my guess. And no, I'm not cheating. I haven't tested it yet. Here we go. Okay, we only have 70 pounds. So hopefully that's just rings that are a little bit sticky. So I've already put some magic juice down in the spark plug hole, which for anyone who is curious, anyone I'm leaking fuel, anyone at all that is curious, is a PB Blaster product, and it is called LMT, Lawnmower Tune-Up in a Can, and it's basically transmission fluid. I'll get you back. You guys need to quit moving around on me. Let me see. Let me get it there. That might. Here. All right. I've got the camera attached to the steering wheel. Let me show you how much free play movement we have. Are you ready? Hang on, we're going for a ride. That's how much free play's in that steering. Definitely need to pay a little bit of attention to that. Like I said, it's like a 67 Ford. Okay. What are we doing now? We're putting the spark plug in. I had to regroup. I'm glad I regrouped in time. Alright. Let's get you in there. Whoops. Yeah, we're going to drop a little bit of fuel down the throat of the carburetor. There we go. Tighten. Tighten, tighten, tighten. There we go. Got that. So, how many of you are ready to see if this thing's going to turn over? I spilled a lot of gas in the top drawer of my toolbox. Actually, I didn't. The gas bottle did. And the reason it did that was because I didn't leave the lid loosened up a little bit. Have to, or it builds pressure, and then all of a sudden we're squirting stuff all over everywhere. Alright, let's see. Get you on there. Little dribble of fuel down the throat. Oh. Whoa, of course. Now that I don't want it to come out, it's coming out like crazy. Okay, go. Let's set it back down here. I can't see. Lights in my eye. There we go. Alright. A little bit of fuel in there. Is it going to start? Think we're going to need to choke it? Huh? Let's go ahead and choke it. We'll choke it. Let's see if we get this thing to go snap, crackle, pop. Choke. Give it just a little bit of throttle. Are we ready? I know I'm ready. I want to hear this thing bark. It's a Tecumseh. Of course it'll start, right? Okay. This is the moment of anticipation that always gets me. It doesn't matter how many engines I go through. This is the exact moment where I go, I'm either the weakest link or I've done my due diligence. So let's see. Are you ready? Gas tank is empty, by the way. Let's go. That was a good sign. And all that smoke that's pouring out, that was the smoke from, yeah, I can smell it, from that LMT. I think we got a runner. What do you think? Alright. Well, let me regroup. I'm going to go ahead and put some gas in the gas tank, which is right down there. And open the fuel petcock. Let's see if we can get this thing to run. And then we can see if it's going to move before we put it all back together. Isn't that exciting? I'm really glad that it kicked over. Alright, see you guys in a minute. Alright, I'm going to save you guys the, here, watch. I'll save you guys the torture of vibrating all over the place when I go to crank this thing over. So let me get you snapped over here onto a drawer. That's good enough. Maybe. Let's move it over that way a little bit. There we go. You guys should be able to see the billowing smoke that's going to come out of it. And then we'll do a compression test after we've let it run for just a minute. So I've turned the fuel on, which I'm doing down here. Make sure we don't have any leaks. Give it a second to get some fuel into it. Another thing we're going to have to address is to, if the charging system isn't working, is to flash the regulator, which is going to be another pain in the neck. Everything on this fights me every inch of the way because of how tiny it is and how they've got everything just okay, I'll quit talking. Let's get this done. Are you ready? I do not have the choke on. I have just the tiniest little bit of throttle. Let's see if she'll kick over with no choke and just a little bit of throttle. You ready? Here we go again. I don't know about you guys, but I'm real happy with that. Boy, and it's quiet too. Yeehaw. It's just blowing out. I can smell it. It's burning off that lawnmower tune-up in a can. How about that? That is just, can't ask for any better than that. Next, what I'm going to do is this tire is flat, does not hold air. So what I'm going to do there is go ahead and hey, it even shuts off. That was awesome. That thing just fired right up like it was yearning to start. Got a really long T on that, makes it really easy to, and no leaks at all, so that's great too. And you can see that this starter generator is okay. I'm going to button things up here since we've got it running, and hopefully we won't have to climb back into the blower housing or the belt guard and the belt guard on the other side and all that stuff. Then we're going to check and see about whether it's charging or not. We'll have to do that. I'll probably do that outside just so I can rev the engine. It's going to smoke for a little bit, but I'm going to sit here and let it run for a little while outside, and then we will do another compression check before we test the hydraulics and all that. But before I do all that, I have a tire to fix. So I'm going to get on that tire and I will catch you guys. It'll be a second for you, but it'll be a little while for me, so hang on. Compression test after running it in for a little while. See what we got. Well, our numbers didn't get any better, but it sounds so good. It may have a compression release though. I am not sure. Alright, later. Quick little interruption before we get back on the little Craftsman. My last video I talked about the lock washers that you use on the exhaust. They make a variety of sizes for Briggs & Stratton, but in order to find one for your engine, you need to download your engine's manual, and these will be listed as a part in the individual parts list. You can go to Briggs & Stratton, briggsandstratton.com and select manuals, put your numbers in, and if yours is an older engine like many of ours are, you'll find a part number for this. We've got that size, we've got that size, we've got that size, and you see how thick these are. They're really stout, really beefy, as you can see. Now this one I left in there because that is a conduit lock. conduit locks work just as well. These two, although they look like conduit locks, you see they're quite a bit thicker. They are actual Briggs. Briggs started going to these later on down the road. But there you go. For Boneyard and anybody else, those are what you want to use to lock your stack exhaust systems down. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Do you reckon that the bead isn't sealed on this tire? For you guys to look, right here, S-E-A-R-S. These are the original Sears tires, and they're just barely even dry checked. Just incredible. Oops, I washed one of those pesky little bugs. So I'm gonna break that bead, get some of my monkey grip bead sealer, and seal that sucker up so we can see if this beautiful Craftsman is going to move under its own power. Well, it has stopped smoking. Still need to fine tune the carburetor just a little bit, but I'm happy. This one came back pretty easy. Let's go for a ride. A little bit of noise on the idler pulley. You'll hear it. Turning radius on this is a country mile. Little Craftsman. A little bit of cleanup here and there. Of course, the seat, the foam's okay, just a little wet. That's why I swapped it out for a towel. You can hear a little bit of chugging, or it needs a little bit more fine tuning on the carb. Plus, the carburetor is leaking a little bit. What do you expect from this thing sitting for so long, right? See if it'll go all the way down to idle. And we're not charging yet. Wow. I need to bump that idle up a little bit, don't I? Not charging yet. Already tested that. Probably the regulator. But this was a nice surprise too. What do you think? Sounds really good. Yeah, this one's worth the price of admission. How do you like my battery strap? That stuff's great for everything. But I have to take both fenders loose in order to get the seat fan up and off far enough to get to the regulator. I am going to try to polarize it, and after I polarize it, it may start charging, and then I won't have to worry about anything. But I'm guessing I'm probably going to have to clean some contacts. But it's a happy little tractor. What do you think of that? Huh? There, it just ran the last of the fuel out of the carburetor. Okay. Another successful day out in the shop. I got this tire all sealed up. No worries or issues there. I have overworked that shoulder, so I'm quite wore out and sore. So it's 4:30 according to both clocks. So what do you guys say we pack it up and call this one done for now? Just for now. I'm really digging it. I like it a lot. It's in such good shape. It's got a little bit of sun fade, which is to be expected. And you can see here the difference in the color. That's the original color. It's a sun fade. But this may compound out. We'll see. We'll see if it does or not. I'm happy. Hope you guys are too. I know you didn't want to see this one go to the scrap pile. So what we're going to be doing next will be, as soon as my shoulder stops being angry with me, which won't be today. Might not even be tomorrow. Might not even be Friday. We're going to jack this thing up in the air and get that pan taken care of. And tighten a few things up. And then get these deck rollers, or these crazy wheels, get everything all squared away and situated with the deck. Like I said before, it's got brand new blades on it, so it's good to go as far as that goes. The vacuum actuator for the PTO works just fine. I do have to get the slides lubricated, and I do need to, and I looked under there, it's just a set screw that's loose. So I'll be able to get that out in about 30 seconds with a 5/32 Allen wrench and a new set screw. So, but as far as our wonderful little, or rather our wonderful big Cub Cadet HDS 3185, excuse me, a couple little things tighten up here and there, but for the most part, just needs a bath, needs the deck repaired and thrown under it and taken to Miss Zippo's so that she can start mowing. And I've already started getting a bunch of calls in for service. I'm not scheduling any services, any at-home services, to the dismay of some people, unless they are willing to move their machines outside to the end of the driveway so that I can wipe them down and do the service on them, so on and so forth. A lot of people like to sit there and watch me do it. Well, this social distancing thing, sorry guys, you're just gonna have to trust me. But there we go. That's where we're at. Yee-haw. That's such a cool little thing. And after I get the steering straightened out, I will test the deck out, see how it does, address the charging system after that's done. So that's it. All I'm doing is rambling now. This is your friendly neighborhood Zippo. We have completed, at least for now, what we think is a 68 or 69 Craftsman electric start, 10 horsepower. With its original Sears tires that aren't even dry checked. Just so cool. We'll give it a bath and give it a little bit of loving. That's for another time. It's your friendly neighborhood Zippo. I want to thank all you guys for hanging out with me for this two-part series, getting this little guy going, and we're going to have to come up with some kind of name for it. Don't know what yet. We'll figure something out. But anyway, friendly neighborhood Zippo. I promise you guys I will be on the next one. Later. I am out of here.